Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And it feels like it has been forever since I've been over here filming a video. It's actually been, I think, like 18 days since I filmed a video over here, and I was doing so good. I was filming like 2 to 3 times a week over here, and then August hit, and I still have not finished the July book yet for Peter's Book Club. So that was the first video that I wanted to do over here, was doing my reaction and my review to the July book, which is Smile Beach Murders for Peter's Book Club. But I haven't finished that book yet. I'm like halfway through. So when I finish that book, that review will be over on this channel. And then the last week of August, I am planning to read and finish the August book for Peter's Book Club, which is called God in the Woods, I believe. Hold on, I've got the whole list right here. Which is called The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. So I'm going to read that the last week of August, and then the first week of September, I'm going to do my review and my reaction to that book, and then I will be back on track filming videos regularly back over here again. So no, it wasn't just a fluke. I am going to be filming videos regularly over here. I was doing really, really good for a couple months. And then I think because of this book, because I didn't finish it, because I was like, I want this to be the first video that I do is my reaction to that. And so yeah, that's where I've been. So anyway, I've been on my other channels. If you want to go find me, I've been moving from home to home to home to home on my other channels. But anyway, so that's kind of the plan going forward on the videos that you will see over here. I also have some other videos. For those of you that do not know, I announced a couple videos ago, I think it was actually my last 2 videos, I talked about reading cozy mystery series together. And so I announced 2 series that we're going to be reading. If you want to do that, the last video that I did is where I made the correction, and so because I changed one of the series, and so because it's more available everywhere. So if you want to read a long cozy mystery series, you can go over there and you can watch that video. I think there's 2 series that we're reading, and then I think I'm going to add the cozy. I think I'm going to add the Smile Beach Murders to that, and so it's just going to be this kind of like ongoing thing where we're reading cozy mystery series over here. For those of you that enjoy cozy mystery series, the 2 that I picked out don't have that many books in the series. So well, one of them I think has 8 books, and the other one only has like 2 or 3 books, and then the Smile Beach Murders only has 2 books. And then there's another series I'm going to be announcing to you that was highly endorsed by my favorite cozy mystery author of all time, Jana Deleon, and she highly, highly endorsed and supported this brand new series that just came out. But that will be a video coming in the next couple of days, and I'm going to announce that. So anyway, so lots of reading groups. If you want to be part of a reading group or part of a reading club, you came to the right place. Today is my announcement of the September books for a true crime book club and Peter's Book Club. So first I want to talk about a true crime book club and the live stream. So we had the live stream in July for the May and June books, and going forward we said we were going to do it every month. We got kind of behind this month in planning when the live stream was going to be, and then it came down to we only had like 2 Sundays left before the end of the month. And one of those Sundays happens to be my husband and I's anniversary. So we're not going to do the live stream that day. And so Mel and I talked, and I said, what do you think about us just moving it to September and covering the July and August books? She's like, I think that's totally fine. So we're not going to do a live stream in August. Our live stream for the July and August books will be in September. And like the first week of September, we will pick a date and we will announce that so you guys can get well prepared way ahead of time. So let me tell you what those July and August books are for those of you that do not know. The July book for True Crime Book Club is There Is No Ethan, and the August book is A Serial Killer's Apprentice. Now in August, during the live stream in July, we decided that we were going to also start watching a true crime documentary every month, and that we were going, so for True Crime Book Club, our live streams, we're going to be discussing a true crime book that we've picked, but also a true crime documentary. You don't have to watch it, you can if you want, but it just kind of adds to more of the conversation because so many of us love to watch true crime documentaries. So the true crime documentary for August is the TikTok murders. I believe it is on, it's either on Hulu or it's on Max. I think I have it written down here where it's at, actually. Do I? I don't. I think it's on Hulu or it's on Max. So that is the TikTok murders is also going along with the Serial Killer's Apprentice. Those are the 2 things that we are doing for August. Now, we have picked a true crime documentary to watch for September. I've already watched it. Mel hadn't watched it and so hasn't watched it, and so she sent me this like TikTok review of it, and I was like, oh, I already saw it. It's really, really good. And so she was like, okay, and I said, if you want to pick it, we can, but I'm probably going to do my video. And she's like, no, I want to watch. Let's do this one. I think it's going to actually be a great discussion to have for the live stream because When I watched this documentary, I thought it was really, really well done. So we're going to get to that in just a second. But the book for a true crime book club for September is College Girl Missing. Now, this is actually a rather short book, and this is a case that I have followed. Let me pull up the synopsis and all this kind of stuff. Hold on a second. So this is a case that I have actually been following since it happened, because it happened in Indiana. And it's a huge case. I think they just had like the 10 or the 12-year anniversary of it happening. It's still an open case. It's open investigation. They do not know who did it at this point. I had actually seen a book that came out, I think, earlier this year, and I had suggested it to Mel, but the reviews of the book were like, it's a good book, but it's all like textual facts of what happens. And so the reviews were like 3 to 4s, because they were like, it's interesting because I don't know anything about this case, people would say, but they would say it's all textual. It's just like reading like a text article about it. So we decided to pass on that because we like to read books that, you know, honor the victims more a little bit and stuff like that. So the book that we are reading for this month is called College Girl Missing: The True Story of How a Young Woman Disappeared in Plain Sight. On Audible, it is 4 hours and 57 minutes. Hold on a second. It is by Shawn Cohen, and it just came out July 30th of 2024. It's pretty short, you guys. I thought I had on here how many pages it was, but I don't. So I took this off of Audible. I didn't take this off of Goodreads. Here is the synopsis for it. Instant New York Times bestseller. She visited friends. She walked to a bar. She was right there until she was gone. College student Lauren Spurrier was pursuing her dreams, joining her boyfriend at a party school 800 miles from home. Social and gregarious, studying fashion and rooming with friends, Lauren embraced her new adventure with the zeal of a young woman who suddenly had everything she desired. But there was a dark side that she and her inner circle kept secret. And one warm June evening, after heading out with friends, she seemingly vanished. When investigators retraced Lauren's last steps using eyewitness accounts and security camera footage, the evidence ended at the doorsteps of a group of wealthy, well-connected male students. With original reporting, including new testimony witnesses never shared with police, College Girl Missing takes listeners back to the fateful night and dives into the disappearances that captured front page headlines around the world. Investigative journalist Shawn Cohen breaks more than a decade of silence as he pursues the truth and what really happened to Lauren Spurrier. Like I said, this is a case that's really intriguing to me, and I'm very, very interested in it. I actually know a couple people that were in school with her, that lived close to her, that interacted with her, that were in classes with her. I've covered the Baumeister case extensively on my drama channel and talking about, like I kind of talked about maybe moving into true crime a little bit, and I'm kind of hesitant about doing that. If I do, this will probably be one of the first cases that I cover because it's something that I feel like doesn't get a lot of attention today. It's kind of a forgotten case. When it happened in Indiana, I remember that, so she went missing, and then like immediately, these 3 guys that people said were from very wealthy families, they left school, and they left Indiana University. This takes place in Bloomington and Indiana University. They left Indiana University and they lawyered up like real quick. And so everybody was like, okay, was this like partying gone bad, you know, whatever. What was interesting about it is I followed this case for a long time, so I know a lot of the facts about it. When we read American Predator about Israel Keyes, the serial killer, we read it for True Crime Book Club. It's to this day probably one of the top 3 to 5 books that we have read in a True Crime Book Club. It's so well done. If you've never read American Predator and you're late to the True Crime Book Club, I would highly suggest reading American Predator. They considered him like the first bionic serial killer. He had, I believe that he had a gastric bypass or something like that so that he wouldn't have to eat for several days in a row, or he could eat very low amounts of food. He was in Mexico trying to have his fingerprints removed from his finger so that he would leave no trace where he went. He left kill kits all over the United States. It's a really, really interesting case. He was living in Alaska at the time. When the FBI interviewed him, because he really wanted a death sentence, so he was willing to give a lot of information as long as his child wasn't brought into the whole situation. They were like throwing down pictures and they were asking him things. One of the speculations was that there is toll road footage of him being in Indiana. He lives in Alaska. That he would fly somewhere and then get a car and then drive and pick up a kill kit, and then he would just pick somebody that, you know, to kill. Well, there's toll road footage of the fact that he was in Indiana at the time that Lauren Spurrier went missing. In the book, when the FBI agent throws down the picture and asks him about her, he says, you're going to have to save that for another day. So to this day, there's speculation that Israel Keyes may have been involved in the murder of Lauren Spurrier. Nobody really knows what happened at this time. There's a lot of rumors about it. when I've talked to people that went to school with her, their initial reaction was, it was the guys that she was partying with. That's like what everybody says that was at school at that time with her. So it's going to be interesting reading this book. I'm really, really excited about knowing more about it. The family to this day is very, very active online and trying to bring this story forward. It's interesting because, you know, I live in Indiana where Delphi is, and Delphi right now, and we read the worst book on Delphi ever. So that book that we read about Delphi and True Crime Book Club was not good coverage. There's been like 3 since then that look much better. But when we, you know, like I live in Indiana, so people ask me about the Delphi case a lot. And we just had the pre-trial for it, and it's going to trial in October. It's interesting, like a lot of the cases, like I just was watching the true crime documentary that we're going to watch for September, and in the 3rd episode of it, they mention the Delphi cases. And it's interesting when I watch like a lot, now that I'm, you know, watching so much true crime, how many cases overlap, and they'll reference this case, they'll reference this case. Lawrence Barrier is a huge case. It gets very little media attention whatsoever. There aren't any documentaries about it that are anywhere well done, except for like an episode here, an episode there. So I'm really excited about reading it this next month. Like I said, it's short. It's really, really short. And again, it is by Shawn Cohen, and the book is called College Girl Missing, and it just came out this summer. So that's the book for True Crime Book Club. Let me know if you're going to read it with us below. We will be covering that book in October, in the live stream for October. And then the true crime documentary that we are watching for September is called Taken Together, and it's on Max. It just came out like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's about 2 girls that go missing in Iowa. It is still an open case to this day, and it's about 2 cousins that go missing and how their families are affected by it, and then the ongoing investigation with it. And it also talks about that since the 1970s, there's only been 15 dual abductions in the United States, which is crazy. I didn't realize it was that few. Also, I have to tell you about this, and it just occurred to me when I was thinking about this last night, that when I was growing up as a kid, my babysitter was kidnapped, and she was kidnapped with one of her friends. And it's interesting, like they were kept for like a week and finally like were let go because of ransom and things like that. And I think about that, like that was a dual abduction as well, and I don't know if that's counted in those numbers, but I do know that that case got a lot of attention in Indiana at the time. I mean, it's interesting to me, there's only been 15 dual abductions in the United States, and so these 2 cousins are one of them. Then it goes into another story of 2 girls in another part of Iowa that were dually abducted, and one of them gets away, and so she is interviewed. It's so well done, and it's so honoring of the victims. The 3rd episode kind of goes in because they think that the person that was involved in the Delphi case might also be involved in these, and so they go and they interview, you know, Abby Williams' mother, and they interview the grandparents of Libby Germain from the Delphi case and things like that. So it's really, really well done. In fact, I think their interviews are more interesting than interviews that I've seen in documentaries specifically about Delphi in this documentary. The documentary is really, really well done. It's called Taken Together, and so that's the documentary they're going to be watching together in September, and we'll be discussing it in October. I will be making my video, and I told Mel this, probably in the next couple days. Over on my Peter Watches TV channel, I'm covering any true crime that I watch. I'm doing a follow-up over there. So that's the book and the movie for a True Crime Book Club for September. Are we following along? Okay, you got your notepads out? All right, so I'll list all this in the comment section below. So then that brings me to the book for Peter's Book Club for September. I've got this whole thing all listed on my phone. Okay, I got the Cozy Mystery Series, True Crime Series, Peter's Book Club Series. Okay, so the July book for Peter's Book Club is Smile Beach Murders. Like I said, that review and reaction will come in the next week, or like probably in the next couple days. The August book for Peter's Book Club is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. And then the September book, I went kind of back and forth on this. There was an older book that was an R.L. Stine adult book. Like, he didn't write that many adult books, but I saw it recommended, and I was going to pick that. But I didn't really know, like, how many people would have read it. I think it came out in, like, 2012. Then there was, like, a new Cozy Mystery series, like I said, that was just introduced. So I was going to pick a Cozy Mystery. But I thought, I'm just going to, like, add that to my Cozy Mystery series that people are reading together. I don't know, I'll probably call that something at some point, like the Cozy Mystery Read-Along or something. I think that's what I titled it. But so, last time that I asked people, like, what did you want to read, thrillers or cozy mysteries? Thrillers won by a landslide. Now, I picked this book, and I'm really interested in reading this book, and I've heard very mixed reviews about it. At first, I heard a lot of great reviews. Now what I'm hearing is it's not so much a mystery, and people are comparing it to Cabin in the Woods, which I loved, the book Cabin in the Woods by Paul Wembley. Is that who it was by? Anyway, So I'm really excited about reading this book. I don't know if it's a thriller. I don't really know much more about it other than what I've seen online, people talking about it, and the synopsis that we got. And the book is titled, hold on just a second, We Used to Live Here. And I believe this one just came out too. Hold on, I have all the synopsis right here. Okay, so the book is called We Used to Live Here, and it is by Marcus Kliewer, Kliewer, and it came out June 18th of 2024. And how do they list it? They list it as horror, supernatural, suspense, and scary. But a lot of people on the reviews said it's really not that scary, but that it's just like fantastically done and fantastically written. So I'm excited about this. Get Out meets Parasite in this eerily haunting debut and Reddit hit, soon to be a Netflix original movie, starring Blake Lively, about two homeowners whose lives are turned upside down when the house's previous residents unexpectedly visit. As a young queer couple who flip houses, Charlie and Eve can't believe the killer deal they've just gotten on an old house in a picturesque neighborhood. As they're working in the house one day, there's a knock on the door. A man stands there with his family, claiming to have lived there years before and asking if it would be alright if he showed his kids around. People pleaser to a fault, Eve lets them in. As soon as the strangers enter their home, uncanny and inexplicable things start happening, including the family's youngest child going missing and a ghostly presence materializing in the basement. Even more weird, the family can't seem to take the hint that their visit should be over, and when Charlie suddenly vanishes, Eve slowly loses her grip on reality. Something is terribly wrong with the house and with the visiting family, or is Eve just imagining things? And so I'm really, really excited about reading this. I love good, like, horror novels as well. I don't like them when they're, like, really gruesome and stuff like that. But I do love a good horror novel. And why can't I think of his name? Paul Tremblay is who I was thinking of that wrote The Cabin in the Woods. But Grady Hendrix is like one of my favorite horror writers. And the last book of his, he has a new book out. I think it's called Horror Movie or something like that. I already have it downloaded on Audible to watch, or to listen to. That was going to be one of my picks. But the reason I didn't pick it was because his last book, which was called How to Sell a Haunted House, was so bad. I was blown away because I love his books. I love all of his books. I've read people always recommend like his other books to me, and I've read all of his books. I love his books. But How to Sell a Haunted House was horrible. So I'm really, really excited about this. So the book for Peter's Book Club in September, because we're getting into spooky Halloween season, is We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kliewer. And I will include this in the description box below as well, so you guys can find it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you going to read with me? Are you going to read with Mel and I for a True Crime Book Club? Why wouldn't you want to? It's fun. It's going to be fun, and we can all hang out together. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.